George, can you help us with the lingo? Let's go back a little bit. There's crypto coins, there's tokens, there is NFTs, there is a little bit of what we'll learn tonight is crypto and coins, the difference, the stable coins. Yeah, can you keep it light? You know,
okay.
Yeah, but the difference in kind of terminology.
All right. So we've defined cryptocurrencies. Okay. So we all know cryptocurrencies are these digital currencies which are built on the blockchain. So things like M-Pesa, of course, you cannot call it a cryptocurrency. In fact, someone one day shocked me when they said M-Pesa is a cryptocurrency. M-Pesa is not a cryptocurrency. It's an electronic money. Okay, it's an electronic form of money, but also it's centralized. Okay, so cryptocurrencies are decentralized. CBDC is not a cryptocurrency. Okay, you just need to understand the difference because CBDC is a centralized money. Okay, pegged one-on-one on the dollar. Now, CBDC is also not part of the stable coin. Because stable coins are digital assets which are pegged on our existing fiat money. So fiat, for those who are hearing the word for the first time, fiat is paper money or the money which is issued by the central governments, the Fed and the governments, okay? So US dollars, Kenyan shillings, euros and so on. These are what we call fiat money. So stable coins are digital assets or cryptocurrencies which are pegged one-on-one on the dollar. The most famous stable coin which we use quite often is what Ali had mentioned earlier, which was paid by, it's called USDT. Alright, the T stands for Tether. So USDT. Okay, we have many other stable coins, including one of them which was also developed by Binance called Binance USD. So BUSD, okay, and many others, USDC, and so many other stable coins. So that is stable coins. Now the next one was
Tokens.
Tokens. Okay, so a blockchain like Ethereum. Okay, so we have several blockchains. Bitcoin is a blockchain on its own. Ethereum, we say it's a blockchain on its own. We also have other blockchains like Solana, Binance Smart Chain, nowadays we call it BNB Smart Chain. We also have other blockchains like Avalanche and so on. So, cryptocurrencies which are built on top of another blockchain like Ethereum are actually tokens, are what we call tokens. Okay, they are not coins. So, coins are an example of a coin is Bitcoin itself. Okay, Ethereum is also a coin on its own. Okay, and Binance coin, okay, because it's a coin that is supporting a certain ecosystem. So Binance coin is a coin on its own. Now, those tokens which are built on top of someone else's blockchain are actually tokens. Okay, these are cryptocurrencies built on another blockchain. And you also mentioned NFTs, right? So NFTs are from the Ethereum blockchain. Actually, Ethereum blockchain was the genius blockchain ever built, and up until now, it's still a very it's like what it can do. It's exponential. Okay, you can't even tell what it can do. Like there's no limit to creating anything on the Ethereum blockchain. All you need to do is just imagine what you want to do, and you can go and do it there. All right, it's actually genius. So it was developed by a guy with the name Vitalik Buterin. So Vitalik is a Canadian, Russian Canadian, based in Canada, of course, and he developed this blockchain at the age of, 17, 19 years old. Right now, I think it should be around 30 years. I think that guy, I actually look at him like an alien. He's not really a human being. Yeah. So it's from the Ethereum blockchain whereby anyone can go and tokenize their art. Okay, whatever creativity you have, you can actually put it there and sell it like an art. So NFT means non-fungible tokens. Now, fungible, non-fungible means divisible. So non-fungible, these are tokens which cannot be divisible, which cannot be divided into smaller pieces. Binance support team there to help you out for those who want to do it. You will realize that you cannot even put your money there if you don't do what you call KYC, know your customer. It's the same process which you do when you go open a bank account in the normal banking industry. So that means everyone who is trading on Binance is already authenticated as a verified person, like a real person, a real human, and so on. Now, Binance framework also, it's in such a way that there is no one person, it's a company. So the model of the company is distributed. Okay, it's not like one person is holding the keys for the company. That if someone goes, that the company cannot continue. Now, over and above that, Binance has put in place as an insurance fund called SAFU, S-A-F-U. And our CEO, I think, is still in the screen. Okay, shout out to CZ. CZ is the Binance CEO. He calls it funds are safe. Okay, we say funds are safe. Okay, just to mean our funds are safe. So basically, SAFU is an insurance fund which, in case anything happens to your funds and default with Binance, you will be compensated. Okay, that's to do with maybe anything, not you being careless, maybe sharing your password with people and then your account gets hacked and so on and so on. So those are some of the things Binance has put in place to ensure that it is their own business continuity plan as a BCP. Right?
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah. Ali, we were talking about CBDC and the coexistence of banks and cryptocurrency. Do you want to take that one?
I think he asked specifically about mobile money.
Yes.
I'm not sure about CBDC. Did you ask about CBDC?
Just in the context of it now becoming publicly touted?
Well, I mean, CBDC, the best example in Africa is INAIRA. It's already in operation. I'm not sure about whether it has hit critical mass. I'll ask my Niger friends on that. But on the question of mobile money, I think we need to really step back and understand the mechanics of mobile money. Mobile money is just a pipe. It's just a rail. Just like Visa, it's digital representation of your money. I think sometimes M-Pesa has become so part and parcel of us that we have actually forgotten those basics. Can mobile money coexist with crypto? Absolutely. As I said, it's a pipe. Binance has a card. I think
Yes.
With Visa, right?
Correct.
Binance has a card with Visa. You can use your money, your Bitcoin or your Binance coin using a Visa card. What you want to ask yourself is, despite the hullabaloo around cryptocurrency, why is it that some of the major banks in the world, some of the biggest banks in the world, some of the biggest investors are users of cryptocurrency? So, Jamie Dimon, I think, of JP Morgan, on one side when he stands in public, he bashes crypto. Behind his treasury department is super busy dealing in the billions of dollars in cryptocurrency. Come on, guys. Let's not get hoodwinked about this. If JP Morgan has a portfolio of cryptocurrency, what I can say, always again refer back to what George said: do your own research. I hope I've answered the question.
What are the first few ticks that one should make when looking at a crypto to buy? What comes to mind when you think 5-10 things that a good crypto coin should have when we are buying?
I'm going to answer it slightly backwards, Irene, if it's okay.
That's okay.
And when it comes to actual crypto characteristics, maybe I'll hand it over to my fellow panelists here. But maybe I can talk a little bit about risk, volatility, and sort of my view on trading crypto per se, because I'm guessing that's why a lot of people are here in the audience tonight. So just to start off on the volatility, I'll try to keep it as light as possible. Let's take for reference one of the biggest markets in the world, which is the US equity market. The index there is the S&P 500. Typically you will have a volatility of around 12, 13, 15%. I think in the last few weeks, given the outbreak in the Ukraine, there is a volatility index that spiked to 35% volatility. Volatility is measured very simply. You take the square root of the amount of trading days in a year. So typically for S&P, square root of 252, and you will get the fact that you'll have an implied vol of 16%. That means the market should move roughly 1% per day. Sorry for the mathematics. That's typically where that index lives today. Now, a little bit of history. That index did not go over 40% of volatility before 2008. And whilst the world was falling apart and the UK got within 48 hours of not having money in the cash points, it went to 80%. Now let's fast forward to Bitcoin today. Stable vol in Bitcoin is 80%. It has spiked to over 150% on several occasions. I think it's 4 or 5 over the last few years. And it rarely goes below 50% in bulk. That means to sort of duck a short story that one of my old bosses used to tell, and it's to compare financial products when you trade them to a casino. If you think about going to a casino and you want to play blackjack, trading S&P is like standing up and rolling up to this sort of minimum stakes $10 table. You want to trade commodities, crude oil, natural gas, then you're stepping up to the sort of $100 table. This is starting point in crypto is the $1,000 table. So you better get ready for a rough ride. You know, this is just, we talk about investments, this thing moves. You know, and it's crazy. And what I will say about trading per se, having done it for 20 years, it's a process. The reason why crypto has gathered momentum is that it has a real place. Decentralized finance is basically people power. People don't want to listen to governments anymore. It has a real place. But what I would suggest is that if you're looking at crypto and you want to take a position, try to do it without leverage. And all these guys who come along and they want to offer you margin trades and all the rest of it, you have to be very careful. Unless you're operating as a professional and you've got your process down to a T. Process means dealing with the bad trades before the good trades.
Sorry, this is not Bitcoin, this is, yeah. So 1 hour ago, 0.4% growth. Work with me. 3 hours ago, 0.7% growth. 12 hours ago, 1% growth. 1 day ago, 0.2% growth. 1 week ago, plus 5.3% growth. 1 month ago, 10.9% growth. 3 months ago, negative 16.6% growth. 6 months ago, 0.1% growth. 1 year ago, negative 0.22% growth. 2 years ago, 536% growth. So that volatility is what Nils has talked about. Now, before you do anything, my advice for you is spend some time and spend money in educating yourself. Do not get scammed, guys. I mean, this is 2022 for crying out loud. You get scammed, it's your own mistake. Because you have refused to take time to learn and inform yourself. And this information is available for free. All you need to do is spend time. Just do 1 hour, 2 hours a day. If you are really into this space, if you really want to talk about decentralized finance, you want to get into Binance, you want to do, look, the fact of the matter is smart money does smart things. Dip your finger, dip your toes. Before you cross a river, what do? Do you just jump in? You dip your toes. Is it cold? Is it hot? What is the depth? Are there crocodiles? Then you move. Why do you not do the same thing with your money? Why? Ask yourself this. This is not a get-rich-quick exercise. Far from it. That one, you can take your money to an exchange, not to a bank.
Okay.
A little bit. So, what I prefer says, risk is when you don't know what you do. And there's one term in crypto we use all the very time. DYOR. Anyone knows that means? Except judgment.
Do your own research.
Right? Do your own research. And every time someone is telling you something about a crypto, at any point we always put NFA. Whatever we say, they will always say NFA. Right? I'll tell you, by the look of things, Bitcoin might go up in the next 24 hours. Maybe by 5-10%. But I'll finish my sentence with what? NFA. What does that mean? Not financial advice. Because we believe, and then we also say DYIO. So NFA, DYIO. Not financial advice, but go ahead and do your own research. No one should tell you what to do in crypto. You should know what to do yourself. Because the technology itself is decentralized. So even information itself is decentralized. You're supposed to own the information yourself. No one should be guiding you really. Okay, yes, we can give you the framework on how things work and so on. But nobody should be coming telling you, hey, I'm looking, in fact I get this question all the time. Guys come up like, hey, I'm looking for the 10x kind of crypto. Which one should I invest in right now? DYOI.
With regards to answering the action to climate change and impact, we are today building a blockchain-based platform to be able to give full transparency on how these carbon credits are being generated, all the way upstream from collection of raw materials to production to the generation of the actual credits and then the trading of the credits. So to give an absolute full history and to sort of complete the circle, be able to tokenize those and present them as a digital asset, or rather a coin. We are working together with a technology called Hedera, and where you think the Ethereum technology is awesome, I would say that Hedera can probably fulfill the same space, but in a very climate-friendly fashion. Today, that I believe is one of the only, if not the only, blockchain technology that is actually carbon negative. So well worth checking into, because a lot of the traditional blockchain technologies are heavily polluting, and it's something that requires thought for sure. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
My name is Anne Gaita. I run a company called Regal Africa. We focus on international trade, meaning intra-Africa trade and global trade and investment. So my focus really is on how to do more trade in Africa. So my question is, every technology has to be practicable, right? So when I think about cryptocurrency, and I'm really thinking about the businesses or the customers who are using these coins, and really, like Neil was saying, we really going away from fiat currency because of all quantitative easing, everything that governments have been doing. So my question is, we're having more digital trade in Africa, and we need more payments happening, and cryptocurrency is really good. But my question is, I never hear anything about African cryptocurrencies. You guys keep talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum. So I'm wondering, I'm African, I want to buy African products. I want to buy an African cryptocurrency. So who should we support? Is it on the Binance platform? Is it Binance? So if you could answer that, that would be great.
Recently we have seen, we have been talking about the scams and what have been, and the recent one that was with Sako. Actually most of I'm a student as well, most of my students have been scammed. And so when I got deep to them and asking how did it go, they even told me they had some Binance and it was involved. How is this going on? Because how can Binance as well do that to avoid this? Because every time I mention a Binance, they have to go back to me. Now you're a scam as well, because Binance was also involved. And it is really, really bad there. People are scammed and they are crying.
Okay. That's for you, George.
So the thing about some of the coins becoming obsolete is like, because there are new technologies, like now we check on how fast the transactions are on those platforms. So what if now there comes other better ones, like this now, so with Bitcoin, there's something new coming. With the value of Bitcoin now crash.
I think the beauty about crypto is that it's decentralized. But if you really want to know if there are any African coins or African cryptocurrencies, I'll ask you to refer to what George said, his acronym. DYIO.
You're here, I'm asking questions.
DYIO. You see, in the crypto space, I do not want to be quoted a few days ago, but Ali said, there is this, in this space, there is it's a slippery slope until you're very, very clear. I just had my young brother there talk about Binance. People just bandy around them. Those guys probably didn't even have Binance accounts. It's just that the guys who come to them say they're using Binance. And that is my assumption. Now, from a use case perspective, let me give you one that is very practical for a business person, for somebody who's remitting money. So let's start from remittances. Remittances into Africa are the most expensive worldwide. If you are remitting, say, 100 from any corridor in the world, whether it's Asia, Europe, the US, the average cost for every $100 you're sending, your cost is anywhere between $8 to $12. With the blockchain and with remittances through crypto, that is cut down to less than $1. There is a use case for you. That's one. Another use case, which I personally talk about because I do use it. So if I'm being paid in, I've done a consultancy, I say, can you pay me in USDT instead of US dollars? It's the same thing, but it's USDT. I receive it on my USDT wallet on Binance. If I want to exchange that to Kenya shillings, guess what? My bank will never, ever, and if you're any banker here, please stand up, we can have a challenge on that one. My bank will never, ever give me that exchange rate. A minimum of extra 2.5 to 3 shillings that I get. And guess what? This is not something that that you want to talk about. If you're on the Binance platform, there are P2P platforms, peer-to-peer trading. You can get straight into your M-Pesa wallet or your bank account. There's a use case for you. You can go home with. Thank you.
Can I answer you quickly?
To the lady in the front again. I think if you're involved in trade, one of the most exciting things to come out of crypto is the technology behind it. And that's, I think, what these gentlemen are alluding to. What you can do by basically putting the process today, which is extremely cumbersome and lengthy, onto a digitalized platform with full transparency will shorten times, decrease prices dramatically. That, if anything, will spur trade on for sure. And with regards to African coins, absolutely. I think the most important thing we need to start looking at is, if things start coming locally here, is what is it based on? It's the same, we're looking at Bitcoin. What started Bitcoin? It's a swap for gold. It's a non-inflationary play. That's how that started. We have to understand what's behind it if we're thinking about investing in these things. So, with the gentleman here, do your research. That's the most important thing. Understand what it is that you get into. Thank you, sorry.
George, if you could expand on the young man's question.
Yeah, let me go straight to it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Please.
So, I've been in this space for a while and I've seen so much. There was this scam which was called Amazon Ventures. Right? Do you remember that scam?
Yes.
So, Amazon Ventures, those guys were talking about the success of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. They could talk about how he has built this platform, and now they're giving you an opportunity to become a shareholder in Amazon. And that's it, right? And after some time, of course, it disappeared. Now, if you don't understand how Amazon works and you're being told about Jeff Bezos, who's real? It's a real person. You go and Google Jeff Bezos and Amazon, you can see, wow, so I'm becoming a shareholder into this thing, and so on. Right? There's also the Libra coin for Facebook. Okay? And soon after, there was another Libra kind of coin which was telling you now you can actually invest in the Libra coin. Right? And they came up with the platform packages and so on. Now, Binance is the biggest cryptocurrency trading exchange, no doubt. And by being the biggest, everybody wants to use Binance to scam others. There's this other there's so many companies, okay? And when you look at those posters, they put Binance there. Now, the reason they put Binance there is because Binance is a platform you can go and exchange your Kenyan shillings to cryptocurrencies. And some of them actually open your Binance account and show you how you can actually buy the crypto. But after you buy that particular crypto, now they show you how to withdraw it to those particular scams. And that's why people link Binance sometimes with those scams. Because actually Binance, yes, right now actually we'll do a demonstration to show you guys how you can make your crypto purchase from M-Pesa to a real crypto. We do USDT. But now the story now starts after that. So what happens to you to that crypto? Do you invest in the real crypto or do you withdraw it and take it to a scam platform? And that's what happens most of the time.
Okay. So what you're telling us is anyone who is linking another company to Binance, that's where we need to do our own research to say, can we actually authenticate that you're actually working with Binance, right? Because it sounds like that's what happened to you, that somebody came and said, we are working with Binance, and Binance has actually a team that's very visible here. So anyone else saying they're representing Binance, that's where the question should start. Yes?
Maybe to just emphasize what George has said. Someone like myself who considers himself somebody who's super savvy in this space, I took a whole month, George is here, a whole month before I did anything on the Binance platform. And even when I did it, we did it with him via Zoom. You know, just the one last thing I want to say about this subject is I want to remind you in the old Russia, USSR, there used to be this organization called, if you're about my age or older, you remember the KGB. They had one simple thing they would always say: trust, but verify. Let me repeat that. Trust, but verify. If you take nothing else from this room today, trust, but verify. Thank you.
Thank you. Hansa.